The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus entered the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority?" Jesus said to them, "I will also ask you one question. If you tell me the answer, then I will also tell you by what authority I do these things. Did the baptism of John come from heaven, or was it of human origin?" And they argued with one another. "If we say from heaven, he will say to us, 'Why then did you not believe in him?' But if we say of human origin, we are afraid of the crowd, for all regard John as a prophet." So they answered Jesus, "We do not know." And he said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I am doing these things." The Gospel of the Lord. Interesting factoid, if you want, I found out recently is that these readings at this time of the year, especially since last Thursday, up until December 17th. And so December 17th, we kind of shift things a little bit, where you get more into the readings more proximate and talking about the nativity of Jesus. But these readings from last Thursday up until the 17th of December, especially the gospel, it's all about Jesus's understanding of who John the Baptist is. John the Baptist, of course, we hear a lot about him during this season of Advent. He's kind of the patron saint of Advent. And so every gospel up until, Wednesday is going to be about John the Baptist. And so today, Jesus is faced with this question from the priests and the elders about who he is. And so he says to them in reply, "Well, I'll tell you where my authority comes from." Jesus fully is aware of where he gets his authority from. It's from God his Father, correct. But he says, "I'll tell you, but first answer this one question. Is the baptism of John the Baptist of human origin, or does it come from above? Does it come from God?" So I like the answer of the Pharisees because it tells us a lot about them. It tells us a lot about who they are and how they think at the end of the day. So they kind of grumble with argue and all that, and they say, if we say from heaven, he will say to us, why did you not believe him? And if we say of human origin, then we are afraid of the crowd. So both of these positions that they are invited to take, they actually have something in common. They actually relate to themselves. They're thinking about the consequences of their own reputation. They're thinking of themselves first. Like, this is the main criterion for their decision. If we say he's from heaven, well, Jesus is going to be mad at us, and he's going to ask us, well, why didn't you believe him? And so they're afraid of Jesus's response to them. If we say he's from human origin, then they're afraid of the crowds. They're afraid of their own reputation. So they're basically making their decision and making their statements of what they're going to say based on how they feel. That's the principal criterion, how they feel, how comfortable it makes them. They're not worried really about finding what the truth is, or that God can become incarnate and is only begotten. So they're not really worried about that. They're worried about their own reputation, right? And so I think that is an invitation for us to consider, well, how do we make decisions in our lives, right? Do we put ourselves first? Do we put our comforts first? Do we put our reputation first? Is that the main criterion we use as to why we do things? Now, Mother Teresa, I'm sorry for St. Joseph's High School, because Mother Teresa High School is the competing high school in Barrhaven. But the Saint Mother Teresa, she had a beautiful saying that I like to use sometimes at this time of the year. She has a great acronym for joy. Joy. We just celebrated yesterday the third Sunday of Advent, didn't we? We lit the rose candle, rose vestments, joy. What does joy stand for? J, Jesus. O, others. Y, yourself. And it's in that order: Jesus, others, yourself. When you make decisions in that order, that is the key to finding real joy in your life, real happiness. And so we ask for that grace today, that the Lord may help us when we make decisions, whatever they may be, that we think of Jesus first, we think of others second, and we think of ourselves last. We still have to think of ourselves. We still have to do some self-care. But John the Baptist, he's kind of one of the great examples of living that out. He put the Lord first, right? Prepare the way of the Lord. He did God's will. Then he invited others to follow Jesus. He put others first. And in last place was himself. And that is very evident by how he dressed, how he behaved, right? Locusts and honey, we could just see a statue right over there, right? He's kind of took care of himself last, right? But joy, that's the source of real joy. That was the source of his joy, to put the Lord first, then others, then ourselves. We ask for that grace today, that the Lord may help us to make those decisions with joy in mind.